Earlier video lecture, we discussed about new unit, that is fifth unit of human resource management, that is discipline and grievances. In that, we studied meaning and definition of discipline, nature of discipline, objectives of discipline, and causes of indiscipline. Okay, so now in this video lecture we discuss about important principles of disciplinary action towards employees. Okay, so let's start with the importance principles of disciplinary action towards employees. First one is announce disciplinary policy with advance warning. Management should consistently follow an announced disciplinary policy. An executive is in an unaccessible position if the record shows that this action was based on established facts, that he has made a genuine effort to help the wrongdoer, given ample advance warning, and finally put a hardened offender a notice that his unsatisfactory behavior would no longer be tolerated. The employee in turn is responsible for the timely and proper exercise of his right to protest against any disciplinary action that is unjustified. However, he must do so in an orderly and peaceful manner. Any resort to direct action is in itself a recognized ground for discharge. Okay, so discipline is regarded as fair by workers if it is accepted without resentment, and unexpected discipline in universally considered unfair. This means that there must be advance warning that a given offense will lead to disciplinary action, and there must be advance warning of the amount of disciplinary action that will be imposed for a given offense. Okay, so मैनेजमेंट ने पॉलिसी अनाउंस करनी चाहिए और एडवांस वार्निंग भी देनी चाहिए एम्प्लॉयज़ को. सेकेंड वन, कंसिस्टेंसी. If two men commit the same offense and one man is more severely disciplined than the other, naturally there will be a crisis of favoritism. Supervisors lose the respect of its subordinates if they impose discipline in a whimsical or inconsistent manner. Consistent discipline is fair and is far more likely to be accepted by the workers involved. ओके, मतलब एक को अलग डिसिप्लिन और दूसरे को अलग डिसिप्लिन से नहीं, सेम मतलब कंसिस्टेंसी चाहिए वो डिसिप्लिन में. ओके, ये प्रिंसिपल होना चाहिए डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन लेने से पहले. देन थर्ड वन इज impersonality. It is very difficult to impose discipline without causing the person disciplined to feel resentful and aggressive. But the supervisor can minimize the danger by imposing discipline in the most impersonal way. Discipline is most effective and has least negative effect on individuals. If the individual feels that his behavior at the particular moment is only thing being criticized and not his total personality. Once the supervisor had decided what discipline is appropriate, he should impose it quietly and impersonally. Okay, so after disciplining a subordinate, the supervisor must not tend to avoid him or to alter his attitude towards him. Okay, shift in attitude and dangerous as they generate corresponding changes in subordinates attitude, and ultimately the whole relationship may be destroyed. Okay, so personal नहीं लेना है किसी को भी, जो भी डिसिप्लिन है वो इम्पर्सनलिटी से लेना है. ओके, जो भी सुपरवाइजर है उसको पर्सनली कुछ भी लेना नहीं है, और जो एम्प्लॉय है उसको भी कोई पर्सनल लेना नहीं है। ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का रूल है, ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का डिसिप्लिन है, ये समझ के चलना है। ओके, देन फोर्थ वन, गिव एम्प्लॉय एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू एक्सप्लेन। Okay, disciplinary action should not be taken without giving the employee an opportunity to explain his actions. This is an important part of the supervisor's investigation. If he gives an explanation, um, it should be investigated to find out whether what he say is true or false. Okay, so एक चांस जो है वो मिलना चाहिए एम्प्लॉय को अपनी बाजू रखने के लिए। देन नेक्स्ट वन इज डिसाइड व्हाट एक्शन टू टेक। The supervisor must know the principle of corrective discipline. Okay, it means the purpose of discipline is to correct improper conduct. It should not be punitive in nature. It should not be used solely for the purpose of punishment. Discharge is disciplinary action which is not corrective in nature. So, discharge should be resorted to only when previous efforts to bring about corrective have failed. The application of the principles of corrective discipline consists of an initial or short disciplinary layoff depending upon the nature of the offense. If this action does not bring about correction, a more straight penalty should be imposed. Okay, so action लेने से पहले ये होना चाहिए कि उन्होंने सच में डिसिप्लिन को तोड़ा है या नहीं तोड़ा है। ओके, सो ये चेक करना चाहिए। देन नेक्स्ट है डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन एज अ टूल। ये प्रिंसिपल है कि डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन जो है वो एक टूल के हिसाब से यूज़ की जाती है। An executive must consider disciplinary action as a tool and not a weapon of supervision. He should see reprimands and penalties in the same light as brakes on car. They slow down employees when needed. They act as preventive measures, but they cannot cure an accident. Therefore, when a penalty is applied, it should be in the manner of using a tool and not as a threatening gesture. Okay, so एक टूल के हिसाब से हैंडल करना चाहिए, ना कि उसको एक वेपन के तरह यूज़ करना चाहिए। Okay, executives must be convinced that disciplinary action is needful and effective. Disciplinary action is a tool that must be used for company's benefit. Okay, executives should not shrink from taking disciplinary action when it is needed. Okay, ये है टोटल 6 हमने अभी पढ़े प्रिंसिपल्स, इंपॉर्टेंट प्रिंसिपल्स हैं डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन एम्प्लॉयज़ फॉर टूवर्ड्स एम्प्लॉयज़। ओके, सो नेक्स्ट हमारा है डिसिप्लिनरी प्रोसीजर। ओके, so disciplinary procedure are a critical tool for management to succeed. Many people associate disciplinary procedure with negative feedback. If implemented properly, these procedures will positively affect the relationship between a manager and their employee. Okay, so employees embrace accountability and it actually improves employee job satisfaction. Before starting the process of discipline, it is essential to hold a preliminary inquiry to know if a prima facie case of indiscipline and misconduct exists. After this, the following steps should be followed. Okay, first is issue of charge sheet. पहले क्या करना चाहिए? बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिसिप्लिन, प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करने से पहले क्या करना चाहिए? प्रिलिमिनरी इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए कि जो कुछ भी केस है वो इनडिसिप्लिन का है या मिसकंडक्ट का है, और ये फैसला होने के बाद ही ये सारे प्रोसीजर जो है वो अप्लाई करने चाहिए। कौन सी प्रोसीजर है? पहले इशू ऑफ चार्ज शीट। वंस द प्राइमा फेसिया केस ऑफ मिसकंडक्ट इज एस्टैब्लिश्ड, द मैनेजमेंट शुड प्रोसेस टू इशू अ चार्ज शीट टू द एम्प्लॉय. Charge sheet is merely a notice of the charge and provides the employee an opportunity to explain his conduct. Therefore, charge sheet is generally known as a slow cause notice. In the charge sheet, each charge should be clearly specified. There should be a separate charge for each allegation, and charge should not relate to any matter which has already been decided upon. I would suggest each one of you to talk to find out how is charge sheet prepared. We will discuss that in the next chapter. Okay. So दिस इज़ अ इशू ऑफ चार्जशीट. चार्जशीट जो है वो इशू की जाती है. तो ये एक मतलब जो कुछ भी उन्होंने इनडिसिप्लिन है या मिसकंडक्ट बिहेव किया है, तो इसकी वजह से ये चार्जशीट एम्प्लॉय को इशू की जाती है. देन कंसिडरेशन ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन. On getting the answer for the charge sheet served, the explanation furnished should be considered, and if it is satisfactory, no disciplinary action needs to be taken. On the contrary, when the management is not satisfied with the employee's explanation, it can proceed with full-fledged inquiry. Okay. Third one, suspension pending inquiry. In case the charge is grave, that is serious, a suspicious order may be served on the employee along with the charge sheet. According to the Industrial Employment Act 1946, the suspended worker is to be paid a subsistence allowance equal to one half of his wages for the first 90 days of suspension and 3/4 of wages for the remaining period of suspension. If the delay in the completion of disciplinary proceedings is not due to the worker's conduct. Okay, so what is grave will depend on the discretion of management. It has to be decided in accordance with the code of discipline. Okay, the next one is holding of inquiry. An inquiry officer should be appointed to hold the inquiry, and a notice to his effect should be given to the concerned worker. Principle of nature justice must be followed. The worker should not be denied the chance of explaining himself. The inquiry officer should give sufficient notice to the worker so that he may be prepared to represent his case and make submission in his defense. The inquiry officer should proceed in a proper manner and examine witnesses. Fair opportunity should be given to the worker to cross-examine the management witnesses. The principle of nature justice can be summarized, that is, principle of nature justice is tell the person what he has done. Then second principle is hear him, and third one is give him a chance to defend himself. On the conclusion of the inquiry officer should record his findings and the reason thereof. He should refrain from recommending punishment and leave it to the decision of the appropriate authority. After all, he is just as an inquiry officer. Okay. And last one is order of punishment. Disciplinary action can be taken when the misconduct of the employee is proved. While deciding the nature of disciplinary action, the employee's previous record, precedent, effects of the action on the other employees have to be considered. When the employee feels that the inquiry conducted was not proper and the action taken unjustified, he must be give a chance to make appeal. Okay, so these are the disciplinary procedure. Okay, our next discussion is on hot stove rule. Okay, you all know the stove. Okay, the hot stove rule of Douglas MacGregor gives a good illustration of how to impose disciplinary action without generating resentment. This rule draws an analogy between touching a hot stove and undergoing discipline. When you touch a hot stove, your discipline is immediate, with warning, consistent, and impersonal. Okay, so following is the four characteristics, okay, according to McGregor, as applied to discipline are self-serving, and it is discussed as per following four terms. Okay, so first one, it is just an example. When you touch the hot stove, you burn your hand. The burn was immediate. Will you blame the hot stove for burning your hand? Immediately, you understand the cause and effect of the offense. The discipline was directed against the act, not against anybody else. Okay, so you get angry with yourself, but you know it was your fault. You get angry with the hot stove too, but not for long as you know it was not its fault. Okay, so you learn your lesson quickly. देन ये रूल अभी क्या कहता है, सेकंड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या है उसका. सो यू हैड वार्निंग एज यू न्यू द स्टोव वॉज रेड हॉट एंड यू न्यू what would happen to you if you touched it. You knew the rules and regulations previously issued to you by the company prescribing the penalty for violation of any particular rule, so you cannot claim you were not give a previous warning. Okay. Third one, the discipline was consistent. Every time you touch the hot stove, you get burned. Consistency in the administration of disciplinary action is essential. Excessive leniency as well as too much harshness creates not only dissatisfaction but also resentment. Fourth one, the discipline was impersonal. Whoever touches the hot stove gets burned, no matter who he is. Furthermore, he gets burned not because of who he is, but because he touched the hot stove. The discipline is directed against the act, not against the person. After disciplinary action has been applied, the supervisor should take the normal attitude towards the employee. So, in applying this hot stove rule in disciplinary action, there must be company policies, rules, and regulations regarding certain behavior and conduct which were issued and clearly explained to employees and accepted by them for compliance. Disciplinary action must be directed against the act, not against the person. It must be used by supervisor as a tool to develop the employee and the group. The steps that should be followed are immediate investigation of the offense must be done to determine the facts. If the company is unionized, the investigation must be conducted in the presence of the union steward or one of the representative of the union. Promptness is necessary in order that the employee will associate the investigation with the offense rather than with his person. Okay. Next step is previous warning. It is important that the company policies, rules, and regulations be issued to and explained to all employees upon induction as part of the orientation program. This should be done by the supervisor with the help of the personnel department. In addition, whenever new policies, rules, and regulations are promulgated, they must be posted in the company's bulletin board, circulated and explained to the employees by the supervisor. It is good practice to have the employees acknowledge receipt of a copy of the said rule or policy, so they could not deny knowledge of the rules. Okay. So in some companies, the rules and regulations provide progressive discipline whereby penalties are graduated depending upon the gravity and frequency of the violation. Okay. Next step is consistency is the administration of disciplinary action is highly essential so that employees will know what to expect as a consequence of an infraction or violation of the rule of regulation. Last step please. Disciplinary action must be impersonal. It should be directed against the act, not the person. Okay. It should be institutional, that is for the protection and interest of the entire organization and for all employees, and not done to satisfy the personal whom and caprice of the supervisor. Okay. So this is steps. It must be used by the supervisor as a tool to develop the employee. Okay. So I hope you understand this lecture. If you have any problem, then message me in the comment box. See you soon in my next video lecture. Till then, take care. Thank you.